All right, final leg. We are back here for another really strong weekend in track and field. The Diamond League kicked things off this Friday in Doha. They're going to be setting off the season. We saw some amazing performances from some of the professionals out there. We also saw some great performances from North Carolina A&T at their conference championships this weekend. They dominated the MEAC championships. We also had a couple other performances from some other athletes, so let's jump right into it. So kicking things off with North Carolina A&T, they dominated in the sprints at the MEAC championships this past weekend. First, we saw Kayla White on the women's side. She ran the 100 meters and the 200 meters. That 100 meters, she ran a personal best and world-leading performance of 10.96 seconds. Not only a world lead, not only an NCAA lead, but also number 5 all-time in the NCAA. So great performance from her. She followed that up in the 200 meters with a strong 22.52 NCAA lead this year in that 200 meters. So she's really following up on that NCAA win that she got indoors in the 200 meters. She's really strong, and going into national championships, she's definitely going to be the front runner, likely in that 100 and the 200 meters. Of course, we have a couple other conferences coming up with their championships in the next couple weeks, so we're going to see how she holds up and where she's going to be going into that NCAA championships. Now, moving up to the 400 meters, and on the men's side, we have Trevor Stewart, again, also of North Carolina A&T. In the 400 meter prelims, he managed to run 44.40 seconds. That's number 3 in the world this year, an NCAA lead. But he managed to follow that up in the finals with a 44.38. So improving on that best time that he ran in the prelims. Really strong performance. Again, an NCAA lead, number 3 in the world. The only 2 people in the world faster than him in the 400 meters are Michael Norman and Rai Benjamin. So in really good company there. He is going to have a lot of competition. We have a lot of guys in the 400 meters in the NCAA this year. So going into the NCAA championships, he's going to have a lot of competition, but this shows that he's going to be able to compete with the best. So keep a lookout for Stewart as the season goes on. Now, finishing off with North Carolina A&T, we had Rodney Rowe. He ran the 100 meters and the 200 meters on the men's side. He managed to win both of the events. First off, in the 100 meters, he ran 10.05 seconds. That's number 4 in the NCAA this year. He followed that up in the 200 meters where he ran 20.12 seconds, 20.12. That's number 2 in the NCAA, only behind Divine Oduduru's performance from earlier this season, but really strong performances from Rowe. He's following up. He's really keeping consistent and holding his ground in that North Carolina A&T dominance that we're seeing this year. He's definitely going to be another competitor who's really going to be challenging for some of those titles when it comes to NCAA championships. So those are the performances from North Carolina A&T. We're going to have a lot more conference championships as the weeks progresses, but they are setting themselves up as one of the sprint powerhouses in the NCAA this year. Alright, let's move over to the Doha where we saw the Diamond League open. We saw a lot of pros open up their seasons in some of their signature events. First, in the 400 meter hurdles, we had Dalilah Muhammad. She absolutely dominated with a world lead of 53.61 seconds. This time is really significant. The 5th fastest time that she's ever run. Her fastest opener. This is actually the fastest time that she's ever run outside of a U.S. trials or outside the Olympics or World Championships. So really strong and significant performance. She has a lot of competition in that 400 meter hurdles between Sydney McLaughlin, Corey Carter, the reigning world champion, as well as Shamir Little and Genevieve Russell, and some other ladies. But she's showing that she's really going to be fighting for a title in Doha this year. So keep a lookout as the season progresses and when she starts to race some of the other ladies. Now, keeping it on the track, but moving down to the 200 meters, we saw Dina Asher-Smith. She dominated the European Championships last year in the 100 and 200 meters and also was really consistent across the entire season. She ran the 200 in 22.26 seconds, the world lead in the 200 meters. She dominated the competition. The next fastest performer, 22.90, not even close to her. So Asher-Smith is setting her season off on a really strong note, and we're going to see how she progresses throughout the season. Of course, there's a lot of company in the sprints, but she's setting herself as one of the dominant competitors, and we're going to see once we get to Doha who's going to be challenging for those world titles. Now, moving up to the 800 meters on the women's side, we had Caster Semenya. A lot of controversy surrounding her name right now, but in this 800 meters, she was a last-minute competitor to enter the meet. She ran 154.98 seconds. That's actually her 4th fastest time all time. So this is a great performance for her season opener. A lot of controversy surrounding her. Like I said, they just came out with news a couple days ago about regulations that are going to limit her ability to compete in any event between 400 meters and 1 mile. So this was likely her last 800 meters are under the previous rules, but we're going to see where she goes. She did run 200 meters earlier this year as well as a 5K, but she stated that she's not going to be running any of those events, and those were only part of her training. So leave your comments below on what you think about the Caster Semenya situation. Not sure what we're going to see, but this was a great performance from her to start off the season. We'll see how things progress throughout the year. Now, in the discus throw on the men's side, we saw Daniel Saul of Sweden. He dominated. He got a world lead of 70.56 meters in that throw. That's a Diamond League record, a meet record. Huge performance from him. The last time he even threw close to this or above this was in 2017 when he threw that personal best of 71.29 meters. So great performance. We're going to see him competing throughout the season with a lot of other guys. And as they lead up to the Doha World Championships, we're going to see who stands out as that top competitor and the top leader for the World Championship title. So keep a lookout for Saul as the season progresses. Now let's finish things off the Peyton Jordan Invitational out in California. We saw a lot of pros and NCAA athletes running really strong performances in the distance races. Yomif Kejelcha, who dominated indoors in the mid distance, specifically with that world record in the mile, he ran the 5K, a world leading performance of 13:10.72 seconds. Really strong performance that's setting himself up as one of the top contenders with that 5K going into the World Championships. A lot of other competitors are really going to be on his tail, so we're going to see how things progress leading into the end of the year with those world champs. Now finally on the women's side in the 10K this time we had Sifan Hassan, who's been dominating in the mid distance races for the past couple years. She's been stepping things up and she ran the 10K in 31:18.12 seconds. Huge performance. She said that she's going to be running the 5K and the 10K at the World Championships this year, so really stepping up in distance, and she's showing that she's going to be one of the top competitors when it comes to Doha this year. So keep a lookout for her as well as some of the other ladies in those longer distances. Alright, so those are just some of the highlights from the performances this past weekend. We're going to keep rolling with the season. Next weekend we have the World Relays in Yokohama, Japan, so look out for some coverage from that meet as well. Leave a comment below on what your favorite performance from this weekend was, and like and subscribe to the video. We'll be back again very soon. Thanks.